Hey you guys, and welcome back to another video with DIYs by Carolina. I hope you guys are doing well and having a blessed Sunday. Okay you guys, so we're going to take a quick look at what the deck space looks like currently with just the landscape edging. So it's not terrible, but it definitely can be improved, and I'm looking forward to actually adding these brick edging because I feel like the brick edging is just going to make the space look more nicer, more cleaner, and just more pristine. And so I think that the brick is going to just really add that pop that the deck is missing, that extra oomph. So so I am excited and I am looking forward to adding this, and this was definitely a budget-friendly DIY. I would buy the bricks probably like 20 to 24 bricks every 2 weeks, and it was literally costing like about $24 to $27, you guys. And so right here, you guys can just kind of see an example of what the brick edging looks like when I started applying it around the flower bed, around the deck area. So I'm just going to be doing that around the entire deck space, and you guys will see, what it looks like whenever the mulch will spill over, whenever it rains. And so I'm always having to rake up mulching. And so hopefully that will eliminate that. Okay, so to get started with this easy DIY project, all I basically did was just move back the mulch from the landscape edging. So I just pushed it back far enough to, squeeze in the bricks. And I just pretty much did that the entire way through. This was really simple, really easy. There's nothing, difficult involving this. It's just simply pushing the bricks up right against one another. And also I flipped the bricks in terms of the long end to the short end. So I'll start off putting a long end, or just whatever end you start off with first, but the next brick you put down beside it, you just kind of want to turn it around, so then that way the bricks will actually fit snug together. So in addition to me adding the brick edging around this deck space, just to kind of make it, look a little bit more refined, I also wanted to give this space a nice pop of color. And the only way to do that is to add in some beautiful, colorful plants. So I went ahead and picked up a few zinnias, some petunias, also some hostas, and some other plants as well. And that's just going to help tie everything together. All right, so it is the next day, and I wanted to go ahead and start adding my mulch so I can go ahead and just kind of wrap up this space. So I'm just using the premium mulch, or I think it's star green now is what they call it. You can pick this up from Lowe's. So I went ahead and got several bags of the mulch so I can just kind of give everything a nice refresh and just make everything nice and beautiful. All right, y'all, so before the final reveal, let's take a look back and be reminded as to what this area around the deck space used to look like before we added the beautiful brick edging, before we planted new flowers and added fresh new mulch. And you guys may recall that one of the reasons I wanted to add the brick edging was due to the fact that every time there's a hard rain, the mulch will spill over the no-dig edging. And so I definitely wanted to refine the space and make it a lot more cleaner and more beautiful. So let's take a look at the final reveal. I'm actually going to be kind of removing some of these hedges where snakes would typically hide. So that's one of the things that I want to do. I'm going to just kind of change out the landscaping in this area, and I'll show you guys what that space looks like in a minute. And yeah, I think this is going to be good. I'm actually pretty excited about it. So let's take a look. All right, y'all, so here's a quick look at the space that I'm going to be working in. So basically, I am wanting to get rid of these hedges. I am trying to just kind of make sure that all of the landscapes in my backyard as well as my front yard is not providing a sanctuary for snakes or anything like that. So I'm wanting to trim down all of these hedges and just plant some beautiful flowers, something that's pretty low level. And you can kind of see here in the back, I've already started, trimming up the hedges away from the house. So I've already kind of started the process already, but the plan is to completely get rid of these hedges, cut them down, and then dig them up out the ground and plant some gorgeous, beautiful flowers that's going to give everything a nice pop of color in this space. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, y'all, so to get started, I'm going to be using my long handle Ryobi saw. And I really love this saw because it allows me to cut down trees and bushes at a distance. So I'm going to be cutting down these hedges, as you can see here. And once I've cut them all down, then I'm going to dig the root of these hedges out of the ground. Hey, good people. So it has been a few days later. I want to show you guys the plants that I purchased, and we're going to go ahead and get started with laying out these plants, coming up with the design, and getting this job wrapped up. So let's get to it. So before we do that, I want to show you guys what the space looks like at the moment. You might remember a few days ago where I, cut down the hedges. I had to dig them up from the root, and you can kind of see here where it left like a little dip in the ground. So what I'm going to do is just kind of push back this mulch and go ahead and just kind of build this up a little bit with some soil, some topsoil, and some star green soil. Just kind of, give it a little bit of height so it's not laying so flat. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that. All right, y'all, so before I can get started with planting my flowers, first I have to expand my current landscape. And so what I'm doing right here is just removing my no-dig landscape edging and just extending it outward to make the space wide enough to accommodate all the plants that I have. So what I'm doing at the moment is just trying to figure out a layout for all of my plants. One of the things I wanted to incorporate in this landscape were plants that were going to give the space some height, not necessarily plants that were going to spread out like my previous hedges. So this is why I chose the plants that I did. And so far, I'm really loving the way this is looking. So you guys will notice that I'm using a combination of two different soils. I'm using the top soil, and I'm also using the star green fertilizer soil. And I'm doing this as a way to just kind of, provide some nutrients in that space for the flowers, because the star green fertilizer soil actually fertilizes and feed the plants for 6 to 9 months. In addition to that, I'm also using the Miracle Grow garden soil to put in the ground with each of the plants. Okay, so we dug the holes for the pencil hedges, for the Japanese hedges. So as you can see, everything is even. So at the last minute, I decided to add a couple of zinnias to this landscape, just as a way to keep everything consistent in terms of flowers that's around the rest of the deck. So if you are new to my channel and visiting for the first time, welcome. My name is Carolina, and if this is the type of content that you enjoy and find interesting, I would absolutely love to have you join my family of subscribers. And as always, to my existing subscribers, guys, you know you are always welcome back. All right, y'all, so before the final reveal, let's take a look back and be reminded as to what the space used to look like. You might recall I wanted to kind of get rid of the hedges. I'm trying to prevent any type of sanctuary for snakes to hide or anything. And so that was one of the reasons I wanted to get rid of the hedge and just kind of make this area a little bit more airy, plant some beautiful low-level flowers and maybe a few trees just to kind of give the space a little bit of height. But let's take a look and see if I was able to accomplish everything I needed to. Let me show you the area that I'm going to be working on today. Then I'll show you guys a look at the entire patio, and y'all, it's a disgrace. It's a whole mess. So this little area right here, this is a white rose bush that I've had for years. It's so beautiful in the spring, y'all. I've let it get out of control. Okay, you can kind of see that where it's overgrown. It's gotten a little too big. So I need to trim this down. This whole area is a hot mess right now. There's weeds everywhere. You can kind of see that here. So this is just basically me doing what I do, which is cleaning and refreshing my space. Okay. Yeah, that's what I do on this. That's a lot of what I do on this channel, is just take my time and refresh my space little by little, and just kind of, you know, make everything nice and beautiful. And we're gonna, like I said before, we're gonna just break these projects up and complete them one by one. All right, y'all, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with trimming down this rose bush. Give you guys a quick look at how low I cut this rose bush. So I cut it pretty low. If you are new and stopping by this channel for the first time, welcome. My name is Carolina. And if this is the type of content you enjoy and would like to become a part of our family, then be sure to click that subscribe button and also that notification bell, so that way you're always notified whenever I post a new video. Okay, y'all, so now that we've pretty much cleaned out the area, pulled up all the weeds, got all the debris out of here, the next thing I want to do is remove these brick edging. All right, so what I'm doing at the moment is just shoveling the soil off of these patio pavers, and I'm doing that because I want to find the outer edge of these pavers, so then that way I can start back applying my brick edging. And so later in the video, you guys will see that I ended up not using these brick edging. I didn't thought about that until after I had, you know, applied them. And then I started thinking, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and use the same brick edging that I used around the perimeter of my deck, which is mainly the same brick edging that I've used in all of my landscaping spaces in the backyard. So you will see that later on, where I actually ended up removing these brick edging and applying the ones that I have in the other areas in my backyard. All right, so what I'm doing right now is I decided to stop off the brick edging and to start working on this little rock bed area here. So what I'm doing is just cleaning it out, picking up all the rocks, because in my mind, I'm thinking I may want to extend this flower bed to include this little rock bed area here. So that's the plan. So you will notice that I started off using this tarp material in the landscape. And I ended up going back later and switching this out because this wasn't as breathable as I would have hoped, especially when you're, using something as thick as this towards the foundation of your house. So I actually ended up going back and just switching out this tarp material for something a lot more breathable. And I'll show you a picture of the one that I ended up using in this particular space. But I definitely do not recommend using this particular tarp in your landscapes, especially if you're landscaping right up against your home foundation. So just wanted to make sure I point that out. All right, so here's a quick look at how I've laid the tarp in this area. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start back applying my brick edging around this area here, and then adding my rocks back over here as well. Okay, y'all, so here I am adding the new brick edging. Y'all, by this time it's literally like almost 10 p.m. and your girl got to get up and go to work tomorrow. But see, this is what happens when your juices get to flowing and you're just like, okay, you know what? I have to finish it. I want to finish it. I have to see the final look of it. Y'all, this is what happens to me, y'all. I'm telling you. But anyway, so yeah, so I pretty much worked up until my cell phone died. So, but yeah, I felt like I got a lot done, you guys. Hey you guys, so it is the next day and just wanted to show you guys what I did on last night. I pretty much finished up this landscape. I seriously did. I worked up until it was literally after 11:30 p.m. When I got done. My phone had died at this point. Everything was just, yeah. But I was just so hyped about finishing it because right in that last clip, I came up with another idea, and unfortunately, my phone died before I could share it with you. So I still went ahead and worked, still went ahead and did what I had to do. So now I'm going to show you guys the final look and then just kind of tell you and walk you through exactly what I did since I wasn't able to record it, unfortunately. But anywho, let's go ahead and take a look. All right, y'all, so let me show you where I'm at. This is the next day and just wanted to show you my progress on last night. So as you can see, I planted flowers all around here, and I even added some stones on the edges because I was trying to figure out a way to use these stones because I have so many of them. So what I decided to do was I went ahead and got some no-dig edging, measured out a little area to kind of make it look like a little river, so to speak, planted a couple of flowers in them, and I went ahead and got an old terracotta pot, flower pot here, and just kind of placed the pot down where I wanted it to. So I did that first and then decided where to, stake my no-dig edging. So I decided to do it like that. And now this is where I'm going to add those stones that we picked up on last night. So I'm just going to add stones all along here. I think that's going to look really, really pretty. And so, yeah, so that's what I'm about to do at the moment. And I think that's going to look really, really nice. It's going to give this area just some interest. It's definitely going to give it some interest, a little bit of appeal, especially since my roses haven't bloomed yet. Well, they've already bloomed twice already, but they're not in bloom at the moment. And just to kind of make this area look pretty, instead of just having the flowers, give it some interest. And that's the whole point of me doing this little cute little river, rocks of river, or the little cute little flower pot with the rocks spilling out. So that's what I'm about to do at the moment. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. So you'll notice that I didn't pin this pot down at all. And the reason being is because number one, it's a terracotta pot, so it has a little weight to it. And then also these stones are going to keep this pot in place and weight it and keep it from shifting. And all I'm simply doing is just adding my stones on top of the mulch since I had already spread the mulch down, which is completely fine. And that actually works out even better because remember, under this mulch, we had that gray tarp. And that's the last thing we want to be able to see once we add these stones. We don't want to see that tarp at all, which is why I just kept the mulch in its place. Okay, y'all, so before the final reveal, let's take it back a little bit and be reminded as to how this space used to look before we completely transformed it. So you guys may remember we had this tall rose bush that was pretty leggy. It had already bloomed several times already, so I decided to do a huge big chop and just cut it all the way down. Fingers crossed it'll come back even fuller. But yeah, we also had to clean out all these weeds and just really make this space look just as beautiful as the areas around my deck space. So now let's take a look at the final reveal. So look at the area that I'm going to be working in today. Yeah, we actually cleaned up this other space that was right next to this particular flower bed. And both of these flower beds are right next to the back door on the patio area. And you can kind of see that right here. So this one has a lot that needs to be done. All right, so I'm gonna dive right in and get started with clearing off this patio area. So that way I can start pulling out the weeds out of this flower bed. And as you guys can see, it is already getting late, which is perfect for me because that means that the temperature is much cooler at this point. Had a little bit of battery life left in my phone, so I just kept recording, and I'm so happy that I kept at it and was able to get so much done in one day. Well, not even a day, it was a few hours. Was able to get all of these weeds pulled out, so I was super happy about that. Okay, y'all, so the time is almost 10:30 p.m. and I just want to show you guys my progress so far, because I think I may stop off on tonight. I think I'm going to stop for tonight and pick back up on tomorrow. Before I do that, however, I do want to just kind of clean up this mess on the patio space first, and then I think I'm going to call it a night. But for the most part, I managed to pull out most of the weeds. We're dealing with a blank slate for the most part. So now we're going to go ahead and get started with just kind of figuring out where I want to put my plants and what plants I want to use. So here's a look at what I'm going to be adding to the hole, what I'm going to be mixing in the hole with the plants. So I have some organic biotone starter. This is a starter plant food, so I'm just going to be putting a little bit of that down in the hole with these shrubs. I'm about to go ahead and just lay the weave fabric back over the entire thing. Just lay that back over it. I'm just gonna push it down in there. right, y'all, so what I'm in the process of doing right now is creating the area for my brick edging. And to do that, I am going to be using the no dig edging. And this is just basically going to work as a support to prevent my brick edging from moving and from shifting. So that's what you see me doing right now, is just applying that no dig edging just to kind of keep those bricks in place, mainly because they're not up against anything. They're just sitting out there in the open. So I definitely have to use that no dig just to keep them in place. I wanted to show you guys my progress so far on this evening. Yeah, so I went ahead and, as you guys can see, added the no dig edging right up against the brick edging, so then that way my bricks don't move. So that was the purpose of me adding it there. Okay. Hey y'all, so it is the next day. Just want to quickly show you my progress on last night and just kind of tell you a little bit about what I did. So yeah, let's take a look. All right, so here's a quick look at what I did on last night, and it's after 8:30 p.m. and I'm just getting back here to try and finish up because y'all is, oh God, it's been so hot today, y'all. I mean, the heat is just sweltering, but anywho, anyway, you can see here that I pretty much did a lot of the same concept like what I did over in the other flower bed. You know, just wanted to do something where you could, you know, it looked like the rocks or whatever. And this is just me trying to figure out creative ways of using up these Mexican pebbles here that I took from the flower bed. So that's just what I'm doing here, is just trying to find some use for those pebbles. All right, so I'm in the process of adding my soil to the planter pot so I can plant my flowers here. And I'll show you guys in the final reveal how I actually lift up this pot a little bit so to make sure that it's able to drain properly by using the Mexican stones underneath the pots. Okay, y'all, so before the final reveal, I want us to take a look back at what this flower bed space used to look like before we made it over. All right, y'all, so now let's go back and be reminded as to what this particular flower bed space used to look like before the makeover. You guys may recall there was weeds everywhere. I mean, galore, okay? Tall and small. So this area was a whole hot mess, you guys. Not only that, but the little patio space needed some freshening up as well. So now let's take a look at the final reveal. you guys so much for watching and tuning in. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and if you are new to this channel and visiting for the first time, welcome. My name is Carolina, and if this is the type of content you enjoy and want to be a part of our wonderful family, be sure and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that way you're always notified every time I post a new video. But let me know in the comments, you guys, what did you think of the transformation of this space? I absolutely love it. I think it flows really well with what we did in the previous landscape. In the meantime, thanks again so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys really soon in my next video. Bye now.